Crazy Coco left me a comment with a lot to it, but one part stood out to me, and it was, if you understand it, you automatically memorize it. And he was saying that was wrong, and I was thinking, is that really wrong? So let's take being the president, okay? So you have to follow these specific steps. You have to be a natural born citizen, you have to be 35, you have to be a U.S. resident for 14 years. So it seems like if you understood the process, you kind of need to know these automatically, right? That you need to understand those three qualifications. But then you probably need to know these main steps, right? These main four steps. And so if I know the process and understand how it works, then I kind of already memorized all these things, right? Because in order for me to understand it, I need these things memorized. Because if I'm missing a step, I really don't understand what the process is, right? If I go for primaries to general election, I'm missing something. And so here's a case where if I understand, I automatically do memorize. Now, I'm not saying that I don't agree with Crazy Coco or not. What I'm saying is I think that it's situational. There are some things that if you truly understand it, then you kind of memorize it along the way. But there are other things that it doesn't really apply to. So let's take this book about Elon Musk. So you can understand the ideas from the book, right? His life, what he did to make these business ventures and all these things. But that doesn't mean you memorize all the details of the book, right? How much he sold or how much he made from PayPal. When he started SpaceX and Tesla, all this other information you don't automatically know. You understand the main ideas from the book, but you don't know all of the details. So here's a case where, yes, you understand, but you don't know. You didn't memorize everything from the book. And this one, I love this because there's so many great examples for it. The periodic table of elements. Now, here's the thing. You can know how the elements work, how the elements interact. Ionic bonding, one element takes the electrons. Covalent bonding, they share electrons, right? And so you can understand the concepts behind how atoms work, right? And the different elements and stuff like that. But here's the thing. That doesn't mean that you know all these different elements. It doesn't mean that you know the atomic mass or the atomic symbol or any of those things. So yes, you could understand how they work, but that doesn't mean you automatically memorize all of this information. So I believe Crazy Coco is right and wrong depending on the information, That's what it seems like to me. Some information, you do kind of automatically memorize stuff because that's the only way to really understand it. But other information, you got to understand the main idea. But if you're trying to do a problem, you need to be able to recall this information specifically. Even though you know how the electrons interact and all that stuff, you still need to know these specific atoms in order to solve the problem or whatever it may be. And so here's a case where, just like the book, understanding doesn't mean that you memorize the information, that you know the information you need in order to solve the problem. So I don't need to know this table at all to understand how covalent or ionic bonds work, right? But I do need this table if I'm doing problems, and I need to know which elements are ionic, other ones are, or I guess metal, non-metal, stuff like that. And so I do need to know which ones those are. And so I thought it was really interesting because when I first saw this, I was like, you really do need, like, if you understand this, you kind of memorize it automatically, right? In the process of trying to understand it, you kind of memorize all these steps and qualifications. So to me, I was like, whoa, is Crazy Coco wrong? But then I started thinking about all this other types of information out there. I was like, no, he's like not wrong. He's like in the middle. It depends. And so, because the book and like the periodic table of elements, you can understand what's going on, but it doesn't mean that you memorize all the information that you need to solve any problems or use the concept that you understand to solve something. You need all this other information. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. Let me know what you think about this concept of, if you understand something, do you automatically, memorize whatever's goes with it? Because maybe I'm seeing something differently. Maybe Crazy Coco is seeing something differently. That's a great thing about our minds. We see things in different perspectives. So maybe I'm right, maybe he's right, maybe we're both right, maybe everyone's right. Who knows? But let me know what you think. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.